to another edition of the Talkin Tigers podcast with Dusty and Chris. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by MLZ Lawn Services. If you need anyone to do your lawn services, give Mr. Click a call at 314-308-0818. Turn this down. Dusty, why don't you tell us who we got tonight?
All right. Tonight, we are lucky enough to have some microphone moving issues, that's for sure. Tonight, we're lucky enough to have the Dupo Drama Club, members of the Dupo Drama Club, not everyone, but quite a few of them. Let's start right here and introduce ourselves. So, I'm going to move this right here. There's a lot of people at this table and not a lot of microphones, so go ahead.
My name is Addison Avenue. I played Fanny in the production of Castle of Chaos. I'm also the treasury and drama club.
Okay, and how many years have you been on the drama club?
I've been in it since second grade.
Oh, wow.
And what year are you?
Junior.
Junior.
I think you guys are all juniors, right?
I was senior.
I'm in eighth grade.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Alright, so I'm Alex Jarashin. I played Queen Prudence in the production of Castle of Chaos, and I am also the president of the drama club. I'm basically everybody's mother.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you played a motherly type almost.
I did play a mother, technically. I had 2 kids.
Yeah. Very true. All right.
Okay, I'm Brianna Jackson. I played Sovereign Silver in Castle of Chaos. I also wrote the screenplay for Castle of Chaos, and I am vice president of the drama club.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm Paige Mushaney. I play Reverend Madam Rebecca, and this is my first play. Very happy that Brianna wrote me in it. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Nala Johnson. I play Princess Polly, and this is my second year doing drama club.
Awesome. So let's start with talking about the Castle of Chaos. Obviously, I interviewed you guys that night, and we kind of talked about, you guys were all amped up. It was the first night of the production. I wish I could have came back to see it, because it almost felt like I went home and understood it a little better. Like, I don't know if it was meant to be written that deeply, but it's almost like when you're watching it, and one scene in particular was, you're waiting for this royal wedding to happen, and then all at once, everyone's just kind of like, let's go home, you know, and it's like, that is the definition of chaos. Like, at the end of the day, no one really cared about the wedding. It was just like, this is all nonsense, let's just go home, you know. So when I got home later and I thought about that, I was like, wow, I really kind of appreciated that theme and the way that it tied together, and so that was awesome. So congratulations on that. It was way more than I think a lot of people expected.
It was a lot longer than the winter play, at least.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, so what was the winter play?
Winter play we did, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
It was a 1-act play, very short.
It was.
It ran for like a half an hour. And for some of us, we're also in that one.
Yeah.
I got to rap.
Whoa.
Multiple
We
times,
did get
on
that.
multiple occasions.
So does that mean you guys are doing Hamilton next? Now that
Oh, God.
That'd be incredible. But,
How would you feel about me as Aaron Burr?
I would be all about it. Bird, sir. So back to Castle of Chaos. You were very kind of hectic and anxious almost. Is that written into her personality? Was that kind of?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'm a very just anxious person, all in general, but I was also written because it is my daughter's wedding, and I have not been in contact with my character hasn't been in contact with the groom's parent the entire time I was planning this, so I was like, I'm doing this all by myself, and I don't care, but also, I do care, because what if something goes off the rails? And something did go off the rails.
Right. A lot of things went on.
So many things went off the rails.
Everything.
So come to find out, it wasn't even about a royal wedding. It was more so about taking over the sovereignty, right? Yeah, and ultimately, no one really succeeded at that, right?
I did strong.
Oh, yeah.
I did it at the very end.
Oh yeah, I guess looking back on it, but like I said, I wish we could have came back and see more nights out. Did you guys think that any of the nights were any better than the other?
I really felt like night 2.
Cafe was
the
the
one.
yeah. I feel like that
I
was the
felt
one
like-
that should have been recorded because
Right.
we didn't. Like, I don't think any lines were messed up. I think everything went like really smoothly, and I think it's because since that was the tornado warning,
Right,
day,
it was the
we
tornado
had
warning
more
day.
time to prepare.
It was the tornado.
And then
we were all like, yes, we get to do it.
it also like a lot of our characters are already as hectic and
Right.
scary as it is, and the fact that we're all already terrified because there's a tornado,
And it might
we're
die.
like, yes, we got character fuel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got that plot armor.
So you guys played on the terror of the storm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we were even planning it in advance, like if the tornado had actually affected us while we were rehearsing, like if like the lights went out, I was like, oh now the lights went out.
Yeah, it was all gonna be like written in. It was all gonna be improvised. Like if like Sister Thunder knocked everything off, I was
You were
Yeah, the tornado was actually written in the script.
yeah,
Oh,
totally.
yeah. That's awesome. You know, one thing I have a question about when I was looking through the playbill, I guess it's called. I go to a lot of things. I don't remember what the picture's called. It says that the Dupo tiger was in there.
Yes.
So I remember in the play the tiger passes by because someone had a pet tiger.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it was a little stuffed tiger, and I was like, all right, it was that the Dupo tiger appearance.
Yes.
Yes, that was the Tiger here.
Perfect. That was awesome.
And the person who's credited as the Dupo Tiger is actually the mascot
Oh,
for
okay.
like football and stuff. And
So you guys credit him as a subject?
yeah, because he was telling me, why did you guys write him as the Dupo Tiger? It was either him or one of the ROTC teachers that was telling me, like, why did you write him in? And I was like, funny, haha. We're all teenagers. We can do
Because he
whatever we
deserves
want.
it.
Yeah.
He deserves it. That's the real answer.
It's so, I think that
Stunning performance.
And the Dupo Tiger is Chandler, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chandler Davis.
Chandler
Yeah.
Davis,
Yeah.
He's a senior, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he is,
So
yeah.
we're gonna be looking for a new tall Dupo tiger.
And there's nobody else that's taller than him.
Yeah. So we'll get back to drama club in a minute, but it's interesting we mentioned the Dupo tiger. What do you guys think of the new Dupo tiger versus the old Dupo?
Oh my, I miss the old one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry. I miss the old one
Like
so
the
much.
costume?
Yeah.
the costume.
I miss the old one. I'm gonna be honest. Love him to death. Yes. Love him to death. They did not do a good job on picking who made the costume because this one looks cheap. It looks so slow. I don't care.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know there was a new costume.
It's so bad.
So
They should have made a fursuit or make it.
I've had other things on my mind. I've had other things on my mind. I've been writing a play.
yeah, exactly right. You weren't worried about the differences. I think one thing that was awesome. I think that if you guys were to pick up a play or just pick up a standard script like most schools do, I don't think that you would have had the unity. I don't think it would have brought you guys together and allowed for this level of flexibility. And I think that's awesome. I think it's great that you guys got to experience that. Did you decide? Were you part of the decision on having them do the written script, or was that
Yeah,
just kind of?
there were three sort of people running the drama club at the time, and we all kind of, I knew that I wanted to push Bree's play. I read it before, we took it to the board, but, we really pushed to help her get it through.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sorry, we didn't introduce you. Can you tell us your name and role with the?
I am Miss Kyle, I am the assistant director, right?
Yeah.
Co-director, whatever you wanna call it, along with Mr. Tidball.
Who is not here? Thank you, Rusty Pepperoni.
He's dead. Whoa.
He's not dead, I promise.
He's still alive.
He's probably at home with his kid. Yes.
Thank you.
And
So,
and I did for the last play and this play, I did a lot of the set.
that's awesome.
All of
Woman power.
Pretty much all of our set building can be credited to myself.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of painting.
I do a lot of painting.
So Bree,
Yes.
let me ask you, something that was on my mind. What's it, a couple of things. What made you decide to start writing plays, and is this something that you think you want to do in your future?
I have been wanting to write creatively since I was at least 7, 8 years old. I started actually working on it and trying to improve around 11. And it's not just one specific thing. It started with novels and short stories. And I think my focus is going to be on screenplays and writing for television. But I also do want to conquer Broadway along the way.
Wow. Conquer Broadway, I love that. Those are huge aspirations that you keep shooting for the stars and eventually you're gonna land on the moon. So.
I keep telling her not to forget about the little people.
Right.
I will never forget you.
Brianna could definitely be a voice actor, because if you've been here for the last 2 plays Brianna was in, the voice changes are actually amazing.
It's kind of creepy because whenever you're talking to Brianna backstage, they'll go from their character voice to their regular voice, and then they'll do a whole different voice. And I'm like, am I talking to like 6 different people right now? What is going on?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of
Sometimes when Brianna's talking normally, you could just hear like past characters just pop in sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's Amos, there's Nookie, we found
So as a fellow weirdo, I get it. It's okay to do those kind of voices. I do something myself.
It's insane because I've technically played.
technically 3.
I technically played 4 different characters in the last 3 plays I've done. Jersey, like New York.
Okay.
New York bit.
Do a little bit of Nookie for me, would you?
Yeah, come on. I wasn't here either. I was.
Hi there. Oh, Emily, it's so nice to see you. Oh my God. Would you mind signing this receipt for me and go to that package?
Slade. And then
That's all.
Amos.
You know, I could get you a bigger camera. I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
Amos.
Amos again. Yeah, nice to meet you. It's so nice to meet you. Crazy place you got here. Down there in Madhouse.
That's beautiful. I love
That
it.
is awesome.
So in other words, Talkin Silver was the chillest.
Yeah, it was the longest character that they have ever played.
It just really seemed like you were just having fun. It really just seemed like you were just up there, almost, I'm glad that alcohol wasn't really in that cup. But it was convincing,
You know, fun fact, we didn't actually plan for Silver to be an alcoholic in the script. This was a character choice.
This was literally like during Tech Week. Brianna was like, Silver is an alcoholic, and I'm just sitting there like reading, like going over some scenes, and I'm like,
I think it was 10 week. It was like the week before.
it was like the week before
It was
Tech
like
Week.
the week
We were
before.
just making jokes, and we were like, Silver is drunk.
Like
and
the
then
entire
we
time.
just kind of went with it, and we're like, yep, that's the good
And
guy.
Silver became an alcoholic.
Originally, the plan was Silver to be entirely sober throughout every scene. And Tidball was like, I don't know how we're gonna pass this off as a real person. and so I was just kind of goofing around on stage like I usually do, because it's rehearsal. Nobody's gonna see this. And I ended up finding a wine glass backstage, and I was like,
The original wine glass was
Just come up with
just
a wine
dusty
glass.
water.
Yeah.
Dust and water in it.
yeah, there's a water fountain right next to the stage, like on the outside. And I decided to fill the glass up with water during rehearsals whenever I first made this decision.
I didn't clean it out at all. Just put water in it. So it was dust and water.
First it was dusty water, like it was dusty water with a little bit
Then it
of
was dusty
powder.
week old water.
Yeah, and then it had like a little powder.
Because I forgot because we rehearsed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I forgot to empty out and replenish the glass from one of the Wednesdays.
Wow.
So it was sitting there for a week.
I provided the fake grape juice. It was
Oh yes.
and I brought it, and I'm like, it was before we had used it, I was tired. I just taken it and I just drank some out of the bottle on the stage, and I just gave it to Brianna. And I'm like, here you go.
Thank you so much for bringing that sparkling grape
It
Tasted better than the dusty water.
I'm sure
Dusty
there was
cold water.
absolutely there were diamonds in that, truly.
So it seems to me that, Chris, when I think of a drama club, I think that their main purpose is putting on this play, but it seems like these guys have a lot more fun outside of
They were
just-
more interested in getting drunk behind the scenes.
Yeah. I was,
Fake drunk.
I'm a representative of the school, and I would like to say in the microphones that there was no actual drinking involved.
wait.
On school grounds.
No, no actual alcohol involved at all.
No brain cells were killed in the making of this play.
No, there were, I promise
There
you,
were.
I
There
lost,
definitely
like,
took
I lost
brain cells
several.
from murder.
Unless the dusty 2-week-old water did something to your brain cells.
Did it for you?
Was it tough to pour it out when it was all over? Was it sad to say goodbye to your old water?
Blood, you kind of stick
I
with
drank
it.
it.
Oh, no. So, hopefully, Chris, one day when you get to sell this podcast, because these guys are
They're all super famous,
now,
right?
this is going to be our way.
Our retirement. This is
You
our
sell this
retirement.
episode as an NFT or something.
Right.
Exactly. Before
Not
they were.
really. I do not condone NFTs, by the way.
No, I would have worked for the government, you can't resell me as an NFT.
You guys are a wild group.
We
Uh,
are.
Definitely are.
With you all being
From kids.
juniors, what's the
Minus me.
plans to next? Minus you. Well, obviously you're the one senior.
Uh,
2 seniors?
No.
No,
One senior,
one
one
senior,
senior.
one junior, I got
Now it'll be in ninth grade.
She's a date.
Yeah.
I'm not even in high school yet.
So one senior, where are you going after this?
The University of Missouri St. Louis.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 30 minutes away. I'm gonna be studying criminology and criminal justice.
And you're still gonna be the stage manager.
And I'm still gonna be the stage manager. I'm gonna get a call middle of the day. They're gonna be like, Mom, help.
Chris, I think it's awesome when students come back and help out.
I do too. I love every second of
I
it.
don't have a choice. They're holding me. They're holding me hostage.
Like it wasn't my choice.
Again, as a representative of the school, there are no children being kidnapped in the
Yeah,
production of
right.
this play.
I've said that I was in drama club throughout my years of high school, and Alex has promised to come through to every one of my plays. Because I'll be doing this throughout my years of high school.
Yeah.
I still got 4 left.
So is that why you just went 30 minutes away to college?
Yeah. Not only that, my sister also went to that school, and I love it so much because it's honestly an amazing school.
Yeah,
I sound like a recruiter right now.
I took some classes there when I was police officer, and they have an amazing criminology
They
department.
do. I actually met, they had like this orientation open house thing. I met personally with the criminology, criminal justice professors. They were awesome guys.
Yeah.
They're like, so why do you want to be in the criminal justice field? And I talked to them, and it was just like a regular conversation I had with regular people, and I wasn't nervous at all.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like I'm talking to these guys like I'm talking to anybody else. I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how's Dupo been for you for 4 years? How's drama club been? What can you reflect on as a drama club senior?
We've had some,
With not getting anyone in trouble, because we've already had to go back and say.
Right, we
Yes.
clarified some statements.
we've had some good and we've had some bad directors. And
Not naming names.
not naming names. We've had some good, we've had some bad. And honestly, closing night, I did cry. Cried a lot. I am going to miss this program so much, and I feel like, though I haven't been here for a few of the plays because I was busy with other things, I feel like honestly I've watched this program go from like little itty bitty baby to like this flower.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it blossom into so much, and I feel like I've helped to raise it a little bit because
Truly are the mom.
I truly am a mom. I didn't call mom so much. But like my senior year, I didn't know that I would be doing so much for the drama club because the winter play, I did it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I really like these people. And then so I came back for spring play, and like Bree and I bounced ideas off of each other. Bree made the ultimate decisions, of course. But honestly, I feel like I've like raised this from a little egg to a little duck.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's so amazing. I miss it so much.
The mama bird nurturing.
Yeah, I am the mama bird. Woohoo! They call me mom. I'll be backstage, and all of a sudden I'll just hear mom, and I'm like, okay, which one of you is calling me now?
Oh, no. So it's gonna be a little bit different without mom around next year.
Without me around, I'm gonna be on the phone.
Look at her. Without her physical presence.
Yeah.
You're staying in the drama club group chat.
I am. I have no choice.
So, how about worshiping Laura?
Oh,
And-
crazy.
So let's talk to the Holy One for a minute.
I was helping them.
So, Miss Thing down there played a very, very high-strung, stressed out, novice priest that really had no clue about priesthood. right?
Well, she did.
It didn't seem like it, though.
Yeah.
Like, going through a lot. Like,
It was
I
chaos.
felt like she did have like she was so she did have, know a lot about priesthood, but then when she was thrown into this, I think she just had so much doubt, and then anything she was told, she automatically believed.
Yeah,
and then there was
exactly.
there's no self-confidence.
Right.
And it's like she was an apprentice for so long, and the woman that,
Yeah,
I
she
don't
was
know-
still learning.
Yeah, she had just died,
Yeah,
so she
right,
was just
right.
thrown in, because
Exactly.
she was the lady that had her apprentice to, she was supposed to be doing this wedding,
Yeah.
and she just kind of got thrown into it, and she's got no clue what she's doing, and it's a royal wedding, and thousands of people are watching,
Wow.
and it's just
Wow,
pressure for
pressure.
her, and people are insulting her left and right.
Yeah, they're just taking advantage.
It was rough to see, and also your character always remained positive. She broke down a little bit, but
a little bit.
I love it. She actually, Chris, you should have seen it. She actually night one did some kind of like reverse exorcism off the stage. It was rather bizarre.
You fell off the stage?
No.
Paige fell off the stage. Is that what I
No,
heard?
no, no,
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like some weird exit she had to do there off the air.
Where she crawled up.
I remember that where she was
all backstage.
I'm not worthy.
The best
Yeah.
part is that the 3 nights, each one of those fun exits was a little bit different.
It really was. It just kept growing because I think the second night, I'd leave Brianna and Alex on the stage.
And you guys kept going.
Because they were laughing, and I was like, they're not going to pull it together. So I just kept crying off
I
stage. It was so
I had a clipboard on stage for my character, and I was hiding behind the clipboard the entire time. I was like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh.
Honestly, that was my biggest.
Laughing at her so hard.
Honestly, that was my biggest struggle for this play because it was so hard to not break character, especially considering I wrote it and it was perfectly tailored to my sense of humor because of that. I physically had to turn my head away from the audience.
Well, and there's always something that comes up like that, because I know when my daughter was in drama club, and there was this bit with I believe it was a corn dog. And
I was there. I was
you were
actually
there,
in that play
and
too.
he comes up and does like this, and the corn
And it
dog
goes
just
across the
skitters
stage.
all the way across the stage. And my daughter's sitting there, and she's trying not to break it. All of a sudden, it was chaos for a little bit. They had to bring it back. It was just
It was
hilarious.
so,
Like you said,
I was backstage and I'm like,
The spiritual ancestor to Casual's Chaos.
there's like you said, there's always something a little bit different with each
Yeah.
night, and it has its own. It's almost like every night has its own life.
it does.
Exactly.
That's
And
every time, my favorite thing backstage, so I was on the scene, my favorite thing was every time it'd be Paige's turn to crawl off stage, I just sneak up a little and just watch as she crawls off stage screaming. I just sit there and watch for a little bit, even during rehearsal. When they were rehearsing that and Paige is screaming, crying, and crawling off the stage, I just sneak up and just watch her. I thought it was so funny, and I'm backstage laughing so hard, but trying not to make it catch anybody's mic. I was
That's awesome.
And then once I crawled off stage, I would just lay there.
She would.
Just lay there. And Jamal's like, do you need help? I'm like, no.
I feel like, no, I'm just comfortable.
That is
You'll be
awesome.
fine.
Every time she's on the floor, she just kind of lays there for a second.
Take a little nap.
It's
That's
A little happy nap.
So we haven't talked to you, but you were at the very beginning of the play, and
Yeah.
you were responsible for keeping track of what was the character?
Princess
Yeah,
Polly.
Princess Polly. And you were failing at that. You were
Yeah.
you had a really hard time. I mean, that kind of set the tone, I think, at the beginning of the play. She is setting the tone for chaos, I think, and losing the princess all in one. So how was that? How was playing that role?
It's basically my life at that point.
So you're known to.
I'm known to lose things a lot.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
like possessions, right? Like
Yeah.
keys, like.
Totally.
Not any of the children at the daycare.
Not any children there.
Just one more no children were lost at the gate. Yeah, so I think you opens the scene when the curtain opens. You're standing right there, kind of loosely talking with someone.
Talking
Oh,
about
yeah, Polly down there, who was
Yeah.
full of energy.
You
Full
know,
of,
you want to know what we're saying?
oh gosh, I don't even.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord, banana. We
You
were
guys
saying
just
the
saying
same
banana?
word over and over. We were going, banana, banana,
like don't read your lips. And so it looks like you're talking, but you're actually not saying anything. Is just to say like random fruits and vegetables. That's
I know,
what
yeah.
you're taught.
Because nobody's gonna expect that.
Yeah.
They're looking for actual words. Maybe shit like banana, cucumber.
Yeah, so do you think for like 15 seconds here, we can just have a conversation, like we're talking normal, but we're naming fruits and
Banana,
vegetables?
fruit, carrot,
No.
mango.
Corn,
Banana,
potato.
cucumber, carrot.
It's corn! It's corn! That's awesome.
Jalapenos.
What kind of games and stuff do you guys do? What kind of stuff do you do to build the ability to go up on stage? What do you do to get ready for that? What do you do?
We have little rituals.
We literally have little rituals. I promise they're fun. So every time we went on stage for like actual times when we were acting in front of audiences, since I am everybody's mom, I would get everybody in a little circle. I would give everybody a pep talk, and I cried almost every single night during the pep talk. I would have to fan myself with a clipboard.
Just did your
And
makeup too.
so I literally had just done my makeup. So I'm there fanning myself, giving everyone a little pep talk, and then there's this actor's prayer. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I would say that. And then whenever I was in 7th grade, a year before Addison, I was taught to wiggle out your nerves. And I would do that, and everybody would get their nerves wiggled out. And then there were some times where we wouldn't have enough time to wiggle out our nerves, so we could sit in like a whole body wiggle.
That's awesome.
And it
I like
worked.
it. Wiggle out your nerves.
Yeah, it worked. We did say wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
Yeah.
wiggle, wiggle. Yeah.
Like we would.
So you're wiggling out your wiggles, you're
Wiggling
wiggling
out
out your
wiggles.
nervouses.
Yeah.
Gotta get the wiggles out.
You come out. It couldn't have been. Your part. You could have been nervous anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true.
you could have been an absolute nervous wreck, and it just.
Yep.
Yeah, for a lot of you really, I mean, a lot of you could have been nervous wrecks and it would have been fine because it was chaos. But it wasn't, when you read that script, you probably seen too that there was a theme. It isn't just this,
There are so many things.
yeah, there's so much going on.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, exactly. It's,
Organized chaos.
yeah.
Which is essentially what drama club is.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Very much.
Chaos.
And a lot of yelling. There was so much yelling.
So much yelling.
And it's all from me.
Explain the quiet backstage before every play.
Hi backstage. Okay. So everyone in our cast, we are loud. We are talkers. And then we had, how many people did we have in tech backstage? None?
Our-
No, backstage.
Not backstage.
We had
No.
0 people, 0 tech backstage. But normally we have tech backstage, which they're loud. The entire drama club is loud. So I would have to go quiet backstage every time, and I would still hear talking. So I would have to like say it 3 times, and I'm like, "Will you shut up?" Because they just talk, and I'm like, we are literally like 2 seconds from going on. Shut your pie hole. And we're talkers. All of us are
That's
talkers.
awesome.
And it really helps because it also kind of helps that we're loud, that we're talkers, because as you were probably aware whenever you were watching it, our microphones and our auditory equipment was kind of iffy.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So it helps that we're very loud.
Or not
and
even
naturally.
some of us.
Right. For the first act on opening night, my mic was dead.
Yeah, I
didn't
remember
know
that.
it.
I remember that.
So I had to project, and I'm usually pretty good at that. And it helps because whenever somebody else has a mic on stage, my voice will pick up on their mic.
Right.
So that really helps.
That's awesome.
Helps that we're loud.
Yeah.
Is there, obviously, there's barely any school up this year, so what do you, as a drama club, do you still meet? I mean, is there anything that goes on towards the end of the school year like this?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's mostly just bouncing ideas off of each other for next year's winter/fall play, figuring out if we're gonna write another one, like if another student's gonna write one, and then we're gonna put it on, or if we're gonna buy the rights to one or something.
Right.
And that's basically just what like the end of the year is just like preparing for next year.
That's awesome.
I would like to point out, however, that we sort of broke even on the winter play, but Bree's play made us some money for the drama
Wow.
club.
Because we had to pay.
Well, that did help,
That is awesome.
but
Well,
there were
congratulations
people
on that.
coming, and now we have a little bit
Yeah.
more in our reserve.
We had more than like people's grandparents come.
I think that because people knew, because the word got spread pretty fast that this play was written by Brianna.
Right, exactly.
So it kind of drove people to come see it because it's something that's never really been done before.
Yeah.
The play was written by somebody that's in it. It's written by a student. That's interesting. So people are going to come and show up more because they just want to see how it would be. Like I wonder if it sounds like it was written by somebody that's still in high school, or if it sounds like it's written professionally,
Right.
like someone that's been doing this for years. And that's what a lot of people, if you would have just thrown this play somewhere, they didn't know who was written by, who was written for, they would have thought this play was written professionally. But
sure.
it's just, Brianna's a really good writer.
She is.
I will agree to that definitely, because I didn't have any expectations going into this. I know it was written by a student. But like I said, when you go home and start thinking about everything that happened in that pot, you're like, yeah, I need to go back and see that again. I need to see certain things and try to figure this out a little bit more, because it's chaotic. During the play, it's chaotic. But then whenever you start to piece it all together, it's really awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, in my like personal opinion, it felt like there was like so many more connections that like people didn't know, because they were like behind the scenes connections. They were like things that we made up, and there was so much more to the plot that if you like really sit down and think about it, it's like who was the sovereign before Silver, what happened there, who are these people's parents, how did they become this, how did they do that? It's like so much more that people think about, and it's honestly, it's so chaotic that you don't really think about it until you get home, like you said.
Right. And the worst part about high school, there's only one bad part about high school drama club, and that's it. Once you see these plays, you see them.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can wait to come back for. That's the only downfall. So I wish I could have came back those next 2 nights, but I had some other things to do. A couple things before we wrap up here. Thank you guys for rebuilding the drama club program. Chris can tell you back we're 2 different days kind of, but not that far off. Back when we were there, we had a huge drama club production. The little gym was like you guys had it again, so it was good to see that. It was good to see you guys coming back, doing that, bringing it back to.
Well, bringing it back because when I was a part of watching them when Allison was there, it was pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing it being able to bounce back after COVID and almost resurrecting it like a phoenix from the ashes. That's kudos to you ladies, everybody in the drama club for putting it together, and Brianna for writing it. I didn't get to come. I was down and out sick all weekend, so I didn't get to attend. But Dusty was here, so it was really important that he wanted to have you guys on, because it was such an eventful thing. I heard nothing but great things about it.
We do have a recording of it if you'd like.
I will find it and watch it.
I
Yeah,
just want to put it back on and do like a reunion.
So
It'd be so fun to like 10 years from now do like a reunion.
That would be awesome. But we would like to see that. I mean, I truly enjoyed the play.
So now, Brianna, the next thing, you want to dominate Broadway. I think the next thing is for you to write a musical for next year.
Yes. The problem would be finding people who are willing to sing.
And
I'm
no,
absolutely down. I'm absolutely down.
We do like a 3-way.
A quartet.
A trio or a quartet.
About the drama club, when it died down a little bit because of COVID and then it came back up. When I first got into junior high in 7th grade, the first thing I wanted to do was drama club, because I heard of it and I was like, that seems really cool and I want to be part of it, but I never got to. Because it's always been something that I'm interested in. But when I first got to junior high, they really didn't have it. But then when they decided they were going to put on Getting Sarah Married, I was like, it's coming back. And I was like, I'm going to try and do this.
And then you became the living lady.
Well, that's one way to do it.
It was my first year, and I was super nervous, and it was just a lot. But I had Brianna to help me through it, and me and Brianna have gotten a very good bond throughout the years of drama club.
That's
She's my
awesome.
daughter.
It's a great thing because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to get up on stage and do something like this, especially to put yourself out there, not only to be on stage but performing something that you actually wrote. So, you know, like I said, kudos to you guys. It takes a lot of courage to be able to do something like that. You pulled it off seamlessly, and congratulations. That's really awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing us to be on here.
Yeah.
No, we thank you guys for coming out. And one last thing I'll say before we close this out is that night, you know, of course, Brianna's kind of the centerpiece here, but the very first time we talked, she gave credit to everyone else. You know, she
It
said-
really was a collaborative effort, though, because because if it weren't for the input from the cast and everybody else in Drama Club, then I would not have had all of the ideas for characters that I would have if I had just gone it completely blind on my own.
We made
The one
Pinterest boards.
question.
We did make Pinterest boards.
Yes.
We made Pinterest
That's
boards.
awesome.
Pinterest boards are women.
Bree, so one question I had is, did you know my dad was a pastor?
I brought that up at Community Day.
But
I'm
actually,
like, how
hold on,
fitting
wait.
is it that you're playing a pastor,
Right.
that, you know, when your dad is a pastor?
Actually, I don't.
One of the biggest laughs
I don't-
every night
I
was
forgot
her
about
headpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Oh.
yes. Oh my
Like
gosh.
she'd walk past and her head
That's
would
me.
get stuck on
I'm
it.
so nervous.
Oh, but everybody loved it.
She'd walk in and her headpiece would get stuck on a little banner we had,
Yeah.
and everybody would just start laughing.
And she would
Yeah.
have to take a
The
deep
book.
breath so
That's
she could
awesome.
feel it, because it's my personal thing that I rented out. But it's a very heavy, but also light
Yeah.
headpiece. It's very
It's
light.
Rather comfortable, I put it on when we were cleaning.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You have to be extremely balanced, because there are some parts where it's like
Yeah.
heavier at one part and then lighter at the other part. And then like if it got stuck on something, it would go back. So she would have to take a second.
Like
and,
the part where I fall over August, like the headpiece would just like fall forward and then the book, and I have to grab both of them. That was like pulling me off stage. And,
That's funny.
like,
At the end, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would go off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, Miss Kyle, for what you do for these guys. Thank you guys for building the program. Everyone that's watching, I think it's important to see what we have here. You know, we have kids at our school writing plays. You know, we have we had
Amazing
the
actors.
senior boys last night. We have another senior student here going to UMSL. I mean,
It's not, and one of the things that we talk about, you know, academically with the school, it's what you and your parents put into it, is what
Right.
you get out of it. So if you put the effort into it, you can go places like UMSL and WashU and U of I and Michigan State, where we have, yes, yeah, Hollywood and Broadway.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about what we put into it, and you guys have put a lot of effort into it. You know, you juniors keep going. And the sky's the limit, no matter what you put into it. You know, like I told the boys last night, if you carry into your life the effort and the attitude that you put into your high school career, you'll be uber successful. So continue that, keep reaching for the stars, especially you, Graham, keep reaching for the stars, because, you know, worst case you land on the moon and you're still way high, right?
Hey, it's not
So-
just me. We have some very talented actors here.
oh yeah, for
We
sure.
have other talented writers. All of us definitely have some potential, for sure.
Awesome. Well, hope you guys continue that. That's all time we got tonight, guys. Thanks a lot. I can't wait to see the video. Before we go, real quick, you guys don't forget again, MLZ Lawn Services, mowing, weed eating, fall leaf, shrub trimming, the official grounds maintenance for the Dupo Quarterback Club. Give them a call for your lawn maintenance need, 314-308.